This is the lesson 1 step notes. First of all, we're going to start off with 3 terms. A proportion is an equation. So right away when I see that word, I'm thinking equal sign. That states that two ratios, and there I'm thinking that they look like fractions, are equal. And then what we're going to be working with is scaling up and scaling down. So scaling up means we're multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same factor or the same number. And to scale down means to divide the numerator and denominator by the same factor. Notice we're multiplying and dividing, we're not adding or subtracting. So in the examples down below, we're going to follow these steps. So what I first look at when I see a proportion, so I like that everything's labeled, and you're going to notice the labels go right across from each other. I always look to find the ratio where you know both parts. So I know both of these. I don't know both of these. So I'm starting here and I'm going this way. So I'm going to draw in my arrows. So it says to decide if I'm scaling up or scaling down. I went from 4 to 20. So that's scaling up, which is multiplication. So I know I'm going to be multiplying. And now it says to determine the scale factor. So 4 times what is 20? And that's 5. So what you do to the top, you do to the bottom. And now use it to calculate the unknown value. So 5 times 5. So there would be 25 pine trees if there were 20 oak trees, if it stayed in the same ratio as 4 oak to 5 pine. So let's take another example. Again, I look for the ratio where I know both parts. I'm looking here. And again, it just has to have the labels match up. So total trees, oak, oak. So I'm starting with the fractional form where I know both. I'm going this way to the unknown quantity. So I'm going from 4 to 2. So now I know I'm scaling down. Scaling down is division. So I'm going to be dividing. And now I have to look where I know both numbers. So I know from 4 to 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Oops, I put 5 here. So 9 divided by 2 is 4.5 total trees. Okay, the next example. Again, start with the ratio where you know both parts. So I'm actually starting here. I'm going to the left this time. I'm going this way. So how do I go from 9 to 27? I'm scaling up. Scaling up is multiplication. So now 9 times what is 27? 3. So my scale factor is 3. So 5 times 3, there would be 15 pine. So if there were 5 pine to 9 total trees, if we had 27 total trees, we would expect 15 to be pine. Okay, again, start with the ratio where we know both parts. I'm going toward the unknown quantity. So this time, the two numbers that I know, it's 5 going down to 1. I'm going down, scaling down, division. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 4 divided by 5 is 0.8. So I would have 0.8 oak for every 1 pine if it's in the same ratio here. Okay, when we talk about a unit rate, we have to know something about unit rate. Unit rate always has a 1 in the denominator. So I'm going to start to set up my proportion. There are 56 flowers, and I always use my labels on 8 trees. So right away, I'm bringing over my labels, flowers, trees. And if I'm finding a unit rate means a 1 in the denominator, so I know 1 goes here. So now it tells me to follow the steps above. So here is the ratio where I know both parts. Starting here, I'm going this way. So here's my x. So 8 to 1 is going down. That's division. I'm scaling down. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 56 divided by 8 is 7. So we would have 7 flowers to 1 tree if it's in the same proportion as 56 flowers on 8 trees. This is the end of the mini lesson.